Hello! Brennan, what are we doing today?
We're going to pick up our new electric car that's going to be replacing your Tesla that we sold yesterday.
But you're buying.
Yeah, I'm buying a new car, but be sure to check out the video by clicking the link above. That'll tell you all about why we sold the Tesla. It was too good of a deal to pass up. So we're headed from our apartment here in Lake Wylie, and we're headed to a dealership to go pick up the new ride. Well, I think the fact that we have a Volkswagen sign behind us reveals what we're getting. This isn't the one we're picking up, but it's one of them.
Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown, waiting for a touch you say.
We just finished in the finance office picking up the ID.4 here, and Kalie gets to drive it for the first time. Actually, I just moved it around the parking lot to get it past the gate. But Kalie can't really drive a manual transmission, so I get to drive the Boxster back.
I get to drive the ID.4.
It has 17 miles on it right now, just from the factory and like whatever
It
lot
must have
movement.
like never even gone on a test drive here.
Or maybe it went on one test drive. Who knows?
Maybe.
Either way, 17 miles. Not concerned.
Yeah.
But right now it's projecting 395 miles of range. I don't think that's going to be accurate, but if it is, that's
would
incredible.
Be great.
But yeah, Kalie's just gonna set it up and kind of share some thoughts as she does that.
Yeah, so I've ridden in ID.4 with you twice, driving. But I've never actually physically driven one.
No. And what are your thoughts on the ID.4? Like so far, just like playing with it a little bit while I was in here, or like your previous experiences? And I'm curious to hear how that changes, like once you're actually like driving one.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a solid vehicle. It seems like it's got decent handling, not anything substantial, but like plenty for daily driving. Tech seems pretty decent. I mean, it's not like extravagant like a Tesla, like, oh, let me like brag about this feature, like I can make my seat fart. But it's got everything you need and more, it seems like. It has all the features I really like. This has Apple CarPlay, which always, it didn't bug him, but it always bugged me that the Tesla didn't have. So I think I will like this more than the Tesla, personally. Which is shocking.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I'll like it more than you will, truthfully.
I mean, I think I'll really like it. I just think it's not like as techy of a car. It's a really good, it does everything really well, but it doesn't do any like frivolous extra things. It's not particularly fast. It doesn't have particularly good handling. It doesn't have like bleeding edge technology, but it has technology and things that work.
Yeah.
And there's not like, oh, is this software update going to break things, or...
Well, and it's a great car for someone that is just trying to switch from their daily SUV too. Like anyone can switch to this and be able to figure most of this out. Yeah,
like if you had a Tiguan, this is a great car to just have as your first electric car.
Yeah.
Whereas most people probably aren't going to this from a Tesla, but I think the build quality on this, the availability, the pricing with the $7,500 federal tax credit, it all just adds up to being a really good package. It's not like the master of any one thing, but I think it's a really good jack of all trades.
And the free Electrify America, which we need to figure out to set up.
It's on the window sticker. I'll get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 years of free Electrify America,
that
DC
really
fast
makes
charging.
it
We don't have an Electrify
option.
America super close to us, so we're not gonna probably use
but
that
if we
like
went
too
on
much
any
on a day
road trip.
on a day-to-day for like home charging. But I mean, anywhere we go, and now that we live in Charlotte, North Carolina, pretty much any road trip is probably going to be up and down the East Coast, and beyond that, we'll probably just fly at this point. Now that everything's opening more up. But yeah, Kalie, let's kind of walk through. Adjust your seat. It has just power seats with the massaging and kind of...
Did you save your seating?
Yeah, I used one. You used two. I think you hit set and then the button, but...
Yeah.
Don't take that for advice. I could be completely wrong. We'll find out when we try and change it and fix it if needed. I skimmed the owner's manual, but I haven't read it yet. So...
All right, let's get some stuff set up. All right, first things first, the seat. Very different than your seating. position?
Yes. I thought you were gonna say that it's very different from other cars, because
No,
it's not.
it's exactly the same as other cars, but very different from your position.
Yes.
This goes up. I probably need to go back further.
The only downside
Does
is
the steering wheel move?
It's manual.
Okay. I don't have my seatbelt on yet. Okay. Let's set that to.
So I think you hit set and then press 2, and I think it dings. Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to try pressing 1 and see if it?
Yeah. You just have to press and hold it. It's not like a press and let go situation.
Oh, as it's moving. Okay.
Yeah.
So
like if I let go, it stops moving.
Okay, so that seems to work. That looks like my position.
And this looks like it's going back to my position.
Sweet, we figured that out like that.
Okay,
and then we did already set up Kalie's CarPlay on here. There you could see kind of the proximity, but that's connected to my phone right now because I'm in the car. We have to go back
let's
to
deal with this in a minute.
Volkswagen. Kalie, use
I have
CarPlay.
other things I want to do first.
Oh, what do you want to set up next?
My mirrors.
Oh, okay. So we just have pretty standard mirror controls over there.
Is that?
So spin it to whatever you want lit up,
Okay.
and then use that as a joystick, essentially.
Okay. Hello? Are you gonna move? Am I doing this wrong? It's not moving, but it's set to left.
So we realized the car has to be on for the mirrors to
Yeah,
adjust,
I hadn't actually pressed in the brake at all.
which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's another slick thing about the ID.4 is that it's a lot like a Tesla, that even though there is a power button here, to start it, all you do is get in, put your foot on the brake, and then you can just shift
With
it
the
into
key.
drive. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you have the key on you. But
You don't get a card.
I also really like that this instrument cluster moves with the steering column so that it's never really obstructed like it
Yeah.
certainly can be on the Tesla.
That's how my Mini was.
Yeah, it's nice. And then Tesla apparently thought it was a good idea to just chop off the top of the steering wheel as their solution to that
Yeah.
on the Plaid.
Yeah, my Mini just didn't even think about it. It was just like, oh, you can't see it, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. But here we have kind of some of the interior. If you're not familiar with the ID.4, we've got cup holders here. This lifts out and can actually go in here as well if we didn't have stuff down there. We've got the 12-inch touchscreen since this is an ID.4 Pro S, so it's the bigger screen. And this has the gray interior, gray seats, because I did not want the black interior that has a not nice looking brown accent on the dash and on the doors. Whereas this has a pretty handsome, classy looking, just like a medium gray on the black.
Well, and I think these lighter seats will be great for like heat.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, obviously we'll probably get some sort of tint, but I think you could easily get away without like, I mean, it
With
might not look as good,
preconditioning,
but
yeah.
like normal tint, whereas like with a black interior, I always want to go below the legal limit.
Yeah.
And get windshield tint, but I think like this would be fine with like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything else you want to set up before we head home and then you can kind of play with things?
No, I think I'll switch this. Is this on my phone or your phone?
That's in your phone.
Okay, so I'll play with this.
Yeah, you can probably just use Waze, or I can show you how to like
Bye-bye.
rearrange stuff.
Let's see. What do I want to use to get home? Let's use Waze. I haven't used Waze in a while because it hasn't really been convenient.
So we're gonna head home with Kalie driving new ID.4. I'll drive the Porsche. We'll get some of her thoughts after the first 11 miles. your first thoughts after having just driven it the first 11 miles?
I have thoughts, but at least like right now, you guys didn't get to see it because for some reason Brandon missed recording it.
I was too busy laughing at her.
I struggled. So down here, this is where the windshield wiper situation is, which is like where it is on most vehicles. But I came out of a Model S. That's where my shifter was. So I kept pressing the windshield wipers instead of turning this.
Well, and the gear selector is like right in the same area, so like you just reach for that out of habit.
See it. Like
oh
this,
yeah.
Based on where I am, I can't see it. I mean, once I know it's there, like I know it's there, but like this was just more second nature to me.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you struggled just at the maneuvering it in, even with its crazy tight turning circle.
The backup camera is definitely different than the backup cameras I've used. It's like a bit distorted in a sense, and I think I'll get used to it. But for right now, I definitely struggled getting in here.
Okay.
It was like a 10-point turn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tight space, so normally it's like a 3-point turn. Regardless, I mean, in my Model S, it was at least a small turning radius vehicle.
Yeah.
Probably not, but yeah.
Okay.
We can give some thoughts on my general driving experience, but that was my parking experience.
So we're in the car now. Kalie, do you care to share some of your driving thoughts versus just your struggling to park?
Yes, I made notes at stoplights because I knew I would
you're
forget
forgetful,
everything.
yeah, and you knew I would ask.
Yeah, and I knew you'd ask. So the first thing that I think I noticed that was really weird was the not holding when you come to a complete stop. So like
it creeps, right?
Yeah. So I knew that like it didn't like come to a full stop at 0, but I didn't realize that if you pressed it to 0, it did not stop.
Okay.
Like it didn't hold it. Like I don't know why I didn't like put that together, but like at first, the first time I started creeping forward, I was like, oh, I have to hold the brake with my foot. Weird concept.
Apparently there's a trick with the, like the adaptive cruise that if you bring it to a 0, it'll hold it, but I'll have to play with that.
Okay. Yeah, because that was kind of weird. I mean, I don't know why I didn't like think that through, but like luckily like I had the space to creep forward at first. Obviously, driving a new car, I wasn't going to do anything too risky.
Yep.
But
what's next on your list?
I don't know if this is something that can be adjusted, because I know in like a lot of cars it can be, but the regen, like I had it in the Beamer, which is, it just felt so weak. It felt like it wasn't there.
Okay, so
I don't know if you can make that higher.
So when you use the brake pedal, it actually starts with regen. So it is regenning more than it seems like it is just by using the accelerator pedal. But yes, I agree. I wish it had more regen just on the accelerator.
Isn't that just going to wear the brake pads?
No, because it's using regen with the brake pedal. Before it engages the actual brakes, it's engaging more regen. Yeah.
So, like a normal car. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully
Coming out of a normal car, totally normal things. Coming out of a Tesla, not normal things.
Hopefully that changes a little bit with the software update.
Yeah, so depending on what you're coming out of, it's either going to be comfortable or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I set up, as you saw in the last clip, I set it up on Waze because I was like, I haven't used Waze in a while. Well, I realized that was a mistake about halfway through my drive. Luckily, I was able to change it at a stop sign. I mean, it wasn't a mistake, but if you use Apple Maps through the CarPlay, it will show you the Apple Maps like directions on the little screen and the big screen, which I like to look at the little screen if possible for my information, because I mean,
it's more obvious. Yeah,
I'm just not. I can do both I can have my eyes on the road and that screen kind of. Whereas like this, it's like my eyes are on this screen.
So I think that's actually an Apple CarPlay limitation, because on Android it uses Google Maps. I think it's just whatever Maps is more integrated into the operating system.
Yeah, which makes sense. So I just changed it halfway through. So like I would probably, if you're comfortable with Apple Maps and are using Apple CarPlay as opposed to Google.
Google Maps. Oh, Google.
Android
Auto.
Yeah, that. Use Apple Maps. If you're using Androids, use probably Google Maps. Let's see, what else did I note? My memory is just really great for a 23-year-old. Oh, okay, this is just like a nitpicky. This was interesting because I've been in cars where I could not figure out how to get in and out of Apple CarPlay. Google.
This is actually pretty easy.
This is really easy. So like that was like something that like I ended up going to the menu because I was gonna try to see if there was like, I don't remember what I was gonna try to see, but there was something I was gonna try to see. I think it was the regen thing.
Okay.
So I was gonna go to the main menu, but like it's pretty easy to get. There's that one, and then if you're in this other menu, there's this one. Like it's pretty easy to get in and out of. The first car I think I had the Apple CarPlay in was the Mini SE, which we have
Yeah.
one video with that car.
Yeah, if you want to check out Mini Cooper SE road trip, that's a hoot with only a little over 100-mile range. Link up
Yeah.
above.
The weird part with that was Mini has like a concierge service.
Oh, okay.
I literally called the concierge service because I could not find in the settings how to set up Apple CarPlay. So and I'm not an incompetent person.
No,
when
you're
it comes
pretty techy-ish.
technology, but I literally called them. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And like even they were like, they kind of like had to like look up their instructions.
Yeah.
Like didn't really. It was a mess. So I was pleasantly surprised with that.
Well, and it was really easy to set up too. We just went into the CarPlay and then set it up via Bluetooth, and we're already using wireless CarPlay, and then it has wireless charging, so
Yeah,
you don't actually need a cord in this car in theory, unless you
Yeah.
want faster charging.
Yeah.
At least on iPhone.
I mean, I like to have my phone easily accessible in case I need it for some reason. I don't want to have
Yeah.
So I might want a cord, but that's just a personal preference.
I might mount a MagSafe somewhere. We'll see.
But you have that. I mean, like
No,
you're
but
gonna mount it like up here.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Maybe I'll put it here.
I don't think it would even make sense there. It would still be like if I want my phone, I want it in my hand. I don't want it like
True.
like on my dash.
We'll figure something out if we end up wanting to put a phone mount in. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's
Anyways.
next?
I know this is just because the car is new, but the range estimate was so wrong. But that's just because it hasn't adapted to us.
Yeah, so on...
We left and it said it was, what, 394, I think?
Yeah.
And we went 11 miles. It's now down to 346. But that's just because it's a brand new car. It had 17 miles on it when we got it. Like, it doesn't, I assume
Okay,
it just
so
needs
let me
to-
explain for all the Tesla audience. So on an ID.4 and pretty much every non-Tesla electric vehicle, it uses what's called a guessometer to tell you your range estimate. This does display percentage if you go into the charging screen, or if you get below, I think, 15%, I think it starts showing it on the screen. But basically, instead of a rated range calculation like what a Tesla uses, where it's based on the EPA estimate and a set calculation, this is showing you a live estimate based on your historic driving of how much range it expects you to get. And being that it only had 11 miles on it, probably driven around dealership parking lot, transport lots, whatever, it had a very optimistic range estimate. And as we start driving it more at real world speeds, that will adjust.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I said. You were just explaining.
Okay. No, I was just explaining with more detail.
I'm saying that's what I said, but like
Okay.
you were just explaining in more detail.
Okay, what's next?
So when we got how our route went was we were on the highway for probably 2 miles.
Yeah.
And then
interstate.
the rest was a what would you call that? Like a main side road.
We went from like an interstate, like a numbered interstate, to kind of it was a divided highway, but with lots of like turnoffs and everything, kind of like a not city street, but 2 lanes each direction, but I mean, shopping complexes, all that fun stuff on either side.
Yeah, so I tried to use the travel assist, lane assist,
IQ
whatever.
drive, travel assist, whatever.
Yeah, on the highway, but I couldn't figure it out quick enough. I have not driven one of these, so like I could not. I was, like I said, we were only on the highway for 2 miles, so unfortunately I was not able to use it on the highway. So when we got on our divided highway side road situation, that's when I finally figured out how to engage it. I guess I wasn't pressing and holding the button. I was just trying to press it.
Okay.
So it wasn't engaging because I wasn't holding the button. So when I figured that out, I kind of just used it on that entire side street.
Yeah.
Which, coming out of my Model S 70D,
With AP1.
I have tried to use that on this particular road quite a few times, and I pretty much have always had to brake it halfway through. I was very comfortable in that car. I would let it go to its limit before I broke it. It's just kind of a strange street. It's
Well, the markings are pretty poor too. They're pretty
markings
worn.
are pretty poor. I'm telling you all this so I can compare it to this.
Yeah.
But so I turned it on for pretty much this entire road,
Yeah.
and it did really well. Like I was shocked. I set the lane distance to the.
Yeah.
Originally, I set it to 1. Bad idea. Had to break it to...
Way too close on this? Okay.
Yeah. That was when I, broke really harsh. You probably...
I think that was when I was ahead of you already.
No, you were behind me, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, then I adjusted it to... I found the happy place to be the, halfway one.
Like
the
3,
up.
probably.
Yeah. So that one was really good for this side road. I'm sure on the highway you'd probably want it as close as possible. For the side road, the middle ground was perfect. But it was very good. It held better than I'd say my Tesla did on that particular road.
Okay. I haven't tried travel assist yet because the test drives I've done have been pretty limited, like city streets. So I'm really curious to try it.
Yeah.
And Kalie can attest, I am very picky when it comes to lane centering.
Well, and also mind you that I'm not comfortable in this car. So for me to not like really have to feel like I break the assist was kind of, because I mean I was trying to let it do its thing, but I'm not going to let it crash if I don't know what it's going to do.
But I also didn't tell you like how to do it or anything, so I'm impressed that you figured it out without any instructions.
Yeah, it took me like a few tries, a few like clicks of the button, but yeah, I was easily able to figure it out, playing around with it a little bit. And I mean, we only had an 11-mile drive home, so it wasn't a huge time to figure it out either. So like he said, the markings on this road are pretty
worn.
Yeah, not great. So there was definitely some ping ponginess, but it never went outside. It got close to like the inner line when that was the only line it could see, but it never really, and it seemed to use other cars, because this is like a main side street. It used other cars really well, it seemed like. When it needed to. Obviously it used lines first, and then if it needed assistance it would use. The only issue I had was the guy in front of me, when it was kind of iffy, decided to change lanes, and it didn't go into the lane, but it kind of slowed down and you could tell it was hesitant. At that point I was in the lane, it wasn't really moving into the other lane, so I just kind of let it do its thing. So it kind of waited till that guy was fully in the lane before it started speeding up again. Let's see what else other notes I might have.
Put your foot on the brake. I want to open the sunshade.
Yeah.
Show them. Yeah, there we go. So you can see this being a Pro S, it does have the glass roof. So I'll let some more light in for you guys.
But
what was next on your list?
I think that's all my notes. Do you have any questions for my experience? How was
ride quality, acceleration, just in like normal driving, not like trying to push the limits or show off?
I mean, I didn't really have the opportunity to like full accelerate at any point, just because it was such a short drive, and like most of the time people were in front of me on the road that we were on, and then on the highway, like I mean, and I'm just not really at a place where I'm comfortable enough to do anything too risky with it. Handling wise, it handles pretty great. I mean, especially for an SUV, I'm not coming out of I mean, my car was a sedan boat, but I'm not coming out of like a great handling vehicle or a poorly handling vehicle, but like, I mean, this was pretty intuitive. Like, it handles decent.
What about ride quality?
Ride quality was great. I mean, I didn't really get up super high speeds because we were only on the highway for a couple miles. I didn't notice any massive wind noise, which is.
But what about like bumps, things like that?
I felt very comfortable.
What about those train tracks?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. I felt very comfortable just going over those train tracks without having to like slow down. They felt comfortable. I kind of went over them kind of quick just to test that, but it was pretty comfortable. I mean, it was still a little bit bumpy, but those are bumpy train tracks.
Yeah, well,
and I didn't feel like extremely uncomfortable going over them at a pretty decent speed for train tracks.
And even I was following you, and like I saw it bounce a little bit, but it was kind of one bounce and then just planted. It wasn't like any bounciness. It looked like it was a very composed ride. Yeah.
Felt pretty good. I didn't have any super harsh turns, so like turning radius I can't really speak for, except here, but like that was more like...
I think that was user error more than anything else.
Yeah, that was just me. Not really. I was using the backup camera too much, and I just didn't... The backup camera messed with my head a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I think...
Let's go inside, really relax a little bit, put some more miles on it, and give you guys some more thoughts. I'll get into the driver's seat and see what I think, and tell you guys.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions, just leave them down. We'll try to answer anything that we can in the comments.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're going to be making lots of content with this car, lots of road trips, basically whatever you guys want to see, but we'll also kind of do our thing just in using this as our everyday car. So I just drove it for the first time. So far, very impressed with it. Really nice and tight steering, really good turning circle, ride comfort really good. A little slow, but we knew that going into this. It's not a speed demon. But we're at an EVgo station, which is the closest DC fast charger to us, and we're just trying it out. And I do want to show a little tip that I've seen online. There's actually a little holder right here. If I can figure out how it goes on there. Do it like that, and then it hangs right there. So that way for your little CCS cap, you can just pop it there. But let me whip out the EVgo app and activate this station. So this is only a 50 kilowatt station, and I did sign up for the EVgo Pass just to try it out. So we're going to be activating this. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. We'll see. Let's get it plugged in here. Right. There we go. Let's see how this goes. We've got green light.
That scared me.
That was the car wash, not the... So I just heard the contactor click. Let's go over to the charge screen. We're pretty charged because the dealership charged it to 100% for us. But let's see, nothing on here yet as far as speed. I don't think the EVgo app shows you your speed, but we should see charging speed here in a moment. I'm pulling up the app here to see our charging percent. Oh, charging failed. We're at 90%. Oh, it's because the charge percentage is at 90%, we're at 90%. So let me try this again. So I pulled a Sandy Monroe. If you watch his DC fast charging demo at Electrify America, his charge limit was set to 80% and he was trying to DC fast charge it and it kept faulting out. I did the same thing. It was charged to 90%. I had the charge limit set to 90% and no wonder it didn't charge. Let's get plugged back in here. Activating it again. And now let's see how it goes because everything seemed to work fine until it started to actually apply power to the car. Let's just see here, it says it's now charging on the app. Contactor in the DC fast charger just kicked on. So we should actually see power and not have the car kick it off as soon as the power is actually flowing, in theory. Okay, there we go. So we do have power flowing. And like I said, we're at 90%, so 37 kilowatt at 90%, pretty solid. Let's go see what it looks like in the car. So unfortunately,